doing so many streams today. So many. See, I was queued up for the Jill one. So if you haven't, when the stream is over, there have been 3 streams today that you must watch. Make sure you do. I did about Jill Dillard and her exercising her right to pick someone for office. I did another one about David and Janelle Eason and a dog. And then the third video was about a cast member from 90 Day Fiancé. Now, you guys keep telling me you want 90 Day content. And so that means you need to watch it. So if you are someone that really likes the 90 Day stuff, make sure you check out my 90 Day Fiancé videos. But now we are going to go through a video that Joy-Anna Duggar Forsyth just posted on their YouTube channel. And yes, that is correct. There is yet another Duggar with a YouTube channel getting into the social media world, which is wild if you think about it, because only like a few years ago, only a few months ago, the only person posting on any sort of social media for videos was Jill. Everyone else had been involved with this TV show, and with so many more people going to YouTube now, it makes people wonder if there's something going on the show. Now, there should be a season 11 because Jeremy and Ginger indicated that they were filming interviews, and Ginger was back in town over the weekend suggesting that she might be filming with her family. She was reunified and she went to lunch. They went to Target, the bathrooms at Target, and they also, she played with her brothers on the ice. But one of the quieter Duggar sisters is Joy-Anna. Now, she's the youngest of the oldest girls. Do you see how that goes? She's the youngest of the oldest. She's the youngest of the oldest. She's the youngest one of the oldest 5. And she has been married to Austin for like almost 3 years, and she got married very young. She was only around 18 years old. So they are already parents to 2-year-old Gideon. And there's been a lot of speculation around whether or not they are going to expand their family. Now, recently in the photos that were online that they posted with the girls, people were assuming that Joy-Anna looked pregnant because she had a belly. Because anytime you put on a little bit of weight and you're a lady, you must have a baby in your belly. And that's just not how it goes. So there's been a lot of stuff on Instagram, questions, people asking whether or not she has one in her stomach, whether or not they're going to have another one, what's going on. It's been 8 months since she had her really unfortunate 5-month loss. And so she and Austin addressed that. They also addressed some questions about their marriage, about what Austin does for work, and some other things. So I'm going to show you some of it. I'm going to be fast forwarding and pushing through some of it, but they get into parts about their marriage and then their relationships with their families that I thought was interesting, and then some questions about his work that made me scratch my head. So there, here we go.
And the very most popular question was, do y'all want more kids? So what's the answer?
Yes, definitely. We want more kids.
Of course we want more kids. Yeah, looking forward to what God has in the future though.
17.
Well, wow, that was vague. So of course they want more kids, and they're going to do whatever God has to offer. That's about as vague as you can expect. Now, I don't think she is expecting, otherwise she would say she's expecting. So I guess we can safely assume at this point that whatever happens, happens. Now, the next one was about when they met each other. This is weird. Oops.
Side, but recently. So I own and
Hold on.
became friends, I would say, probably the year before
Yeah,
we started. We started hanging out a lot more.
Yeah. The next question is, what does Austin do for a living?
So I own and operate a small excavation business, and I'm also a commercial contractor. I don't do too much of the commercial side, but recently we've been doing a lot of home building.
See, that's interesting because recently I was looking through some content online because he has been doing some house flipping, and there's been this like ongoing legal issue between him and a former a business owner that he sold a home to, and it made me want to know whether or not he is a licensed contractor. And so what I did was I went to the state of Arkansas to see if he has a license, and he does not. Not one bit. So in order to be a commercial contractor in the state of Arkansas, you are required to have a contractor's license. So I'm not sure how he's contracting licensing without a license. Maybe that's why there's some issues going on legally. Then that also made me wonder, like, well, what's this business that he owns? Well, I went to the Secretary of State's in the state of Arkansas and again found no businesses registered in Austin's name as a registered agent. So either he doesn't have this company registered or he's just doing it as a sole proprietor and he's not registering with the state. Interesting.
How often do we go out on a date, and when we do, what?
So this hold on. And that leads me to believe that he's doing construction on the DL, under the tables type stuff, and that he is likely doing odds and ends jobs, maybe, because I couldn't find any sort of record.
Is our favorite date night?
So, because I'm self-employed, Joy gets to go with me a lot. I would say probably 3 days a week.
Yeah, it's slowed down some with Gideon being older now, but...
So, we spend a lot of time together.
So one of the complaints that fans have had about this is that they think that Austin works Joy too hard and that she is required to go to these really, heavy lifting sort of sites where she's doing hard labor. And so it's interesting here because now he's basically admitting that she's going to work with him 3 days a week.
And so as far as like a date night where we find a babysitter and just Joy and I go out, I would say that we do it a couple of times a month. But we are with each other every day.
Yeah.
And I know it's not the same, but we get to spend a lot of quality time riding in the truck for hours and talking. And so our life is a little bit different because I'm self-employed.
So, the next...
Oh, yay! I'm going to go on a date in a truck with my husband. Woohoo! Poor Joy. Poor Joy-Anna.
question is, how do you stay focused on God and your marriage and
Well, that one wasn't what I wanted.
You don't have this problem where you go to your wife and say, hey, do I have
them, but then
is what this person is saying about, but we try to remind each other. So it's a constant examining of ourselves of, are we where we need to be?
okay, how do we handle all the critics?
So that's pretty hard sometimes.
A lot of times I just say, don't listen to him.
Yeah, so I think the best thing to do is when you hear some negative feedback, we don't always do this, but we try to remind each other that when you hear some negative feedback, the best thing to do is examine yourself and see, okay, is what this person is saying about me really true? And do I need to change this? And once you go from there and you evaluate and say, okay, no, I think they're making this up, or no, I don't have this problem, or you go to your wife and say, hey, do I have this problem? And they say, no, I don't think you do, babe. Then, you know what? People have opinions, and if they're like some of mine, they're pretty bad. And
he literally admits that he has bad opinions. Interesting. The one thing I find interesting in this whole interaction is that Joy actually doesn't do a lot of the talking, and she defers to Austin a lot, which was been one of the criticisms of Austin in this marriage, is that people think that he is controlling. So he makes her work with him, which isn't typical, by the way, with these marriages at all, because most of the other wives, once they have their kids, they don't work. And then this other part of like her deferring to him, and then because she's working with him, I guess that's qualifies as a date.
at her parents' house, so we all get.
Loves her. She is Grateful to God when
Praise God.
we're both working on to become better at.
Now this is the part where they ask about what are they working on to get better at in their marriage.
Into this easily. Patience is something, not that he's very hard to be patient with. It's just living with another person, constantly having to give yourself, and then also having Gideon. It's hard to give of yourself because we're naturally selfish people, and so constantly reminding myself I need to give more. And sometimes it is good just to relax and rest, but just in my response, being patient.
I think for me, kind of the same thing. I just have to learn
He is very patient, though.
I just have to keep learning.
Like, I feel like she figured out what she said, and then she had to, like, clarify that he is patient.
Be grace and communicate, and a lot of things. I don't think there's just one thing. Marriage, from our 3 years, or almost 3 years of experience, is just a lot of giving of yourself.
I find it interesting when really young couples, especially from this world, talk about how much they have to give and how, like, being in a marriage, being with someone, you know, we're selfish or how we're selfish people, and how, you know, we have to remind ourselves to be there for people. And they often talk about how the first few years of marriage are so hard. And that makes me realize, like, this is kind of what happens when you get married to someone when you're 18 years old. Your brain is not fully developed, and then you start having a child right away when you are still basically a baby. So Joy went from, you know, going to her childhood to being a mother with nothing in between. Nothing. And some of her sisters were a little bit older when they got married. Obviously, Jana's 30, so it'll be quite different for her. But with Joy, and same with Lauren, because Lauren was only 19 when she married Josiah, and she's already had 2 pregnancies. So they're kids. And so, of course, when you're a kid and you're barely, not even she's 20 years old, maybe on a good day, maybe 21 at this point, it's a lot. So I definitely think there's some issues here in this marriage. I think people have some caution here to be concerned. And clearly we have no idea if she's expecting, but she says that she's open to having more children. I'm sure it'll be an episode coming up on Counting On, right? Because that's always how it is. Like, on next season of Counting On, we will find out. But at this point, they are not saying they are. So at this point, this is what we're at. Let me know what your thoughts are. What do you think? Leave your comments below. I will be back in a little while. Bye, guys.